Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hi, I'm Buddy Delmont of Buddy's Trucking. We're a family-owned and operated truck driving outfit. Have you ever wanted to see the beauty of real America while popping Benzedrine and having sex with scary women in towns nobody's ever heard of? Well then, the trucking industry just might be for you. Finally, a job where you can smoke at work, poop in a coffee can and fling it out the window, and sleep at a rest stop surrounded by serial killers. Truck driving, it's the excitement of the open road, the joyful pleasures of the man alone in the middle of nowhere, slowly going mad at his own thoughts, surrounded by society's flotsam and jetsam. Contact Buddy's Trucking and live the rest of your life out on the road. 10-4, good buddy.
Shut up and sit down.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Third Shift. This is episode 442, and I, of course, am your host, your funky leader, the greatest man who's ever lived. It's me, it's Matt, and oh, baby, I gotta tell you, I'm pumped for the show. Because with me, as always, it's the Librarian, bringing the Beastmaster, Third Shift. It's Eric, and he's here to tell us how his week was. Hey, Eric, I know you're feeling great. You're feeling phenomenal, just like I am. You're just all into jazz and all in a mood. So tell us how your week has been, dude.
Hey, yo.
Oh, that rhymed. I'm a fucking hero. Look at me. I'm rolling all over it. I just rhymed. Look at that.
Well, we live in Michigan. Like the blood of Eminem flows through us. So
That's
it's
true.
That's just the way this goes.
That's actually not true. My blood flows through to him. He just made it happen.
He made it happen. You didn't.
We're both older than him.
That's true. We're both older than him. Yeah. Sorry, Eminem.
I don't know if that's true.
All right. I don't know. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know. I think he's as old as us. He's in that range. Anywho's, this week's been pretty good. You know, real life stuff happening, this and that. Doing a dance class, doing that. Really crazy night. Only slept till like 2, the other night. So it's been a long day today. Real crazy. One of those strange days where I feel like I've been up for 2 days, but I'm not. I'm here. So a little off kilter, a little wacky dacky. What's his age, Matt? What do we got? Come on. What?
He's 52. I keep
he's
thinking
way
of him
older
as
than us. All right. Sorry, Eminem. We bow to you. You are our papa, and we owe you our respects.
I always just think of him as like coming around when we were in high school. So I always think of him as like high school age when we were high school age. So it's weird. I'm losing my mind. I'm sick. I'm hallucinating. I'm gone. I'm dead.
When he was hot, he seemed like a kid around our age.
Yeah.
But then again, that doesn't seem right because now that I think about it, I go, okay, when he was hot and I was going, well, I didn't really care about him that much. But, I'd see him. He looked like he was 21 when I was 17.
And he always had like the little kid at that point already, too. So it makes sense.
It makes sense.
But it didn't seem that way at the time.
No, it didn't. It really didn't. That's too bad. We suck. That's okay. It's all right. Papa Eminem brought his blood into us. We can rhyme. It's fine. We don't got to worry about anything. Now, I'll tell you this, though. On the video game front, I've tried to play some video games all week, weekend, etc. Some days more than others, just because of life. But the only 2 games I did touch were Avowed. Got through some more of that. I've been having fun. I got to the second area, and we're about to pick up a new member, but not quite yet. It did the introduction to actually 2 new members of the party. One just totally skates off and says, go do something for me. And then the other you get introduced to. But then, hey, here's 50 side quests. Here's a couple main quests. Here's a whole new thing for you to explore and do. And I was torn at the time. I was like, well, do I just go pop off all these side quests and have a blast? Or do the main quest to get this character in my party and then go back and do all the side quests? Because then they'll be in my party and they'll get XP and we'll level up. And so I shut the game off because I didn't know which one to do and I didn't want to make a choice. And then I popped back on and I ended up doing one more side quest in the new area and then said, Eric, you got to make this choice. You can't keep stalling. And I said, I don't want to make a choice today either. So I logged off again and then went and played the game that the only other game I've played this week, which is Monster Hunter Wilds. There's no choices in Monster Hunter Wilds. You just keep going. You kill the next monster, then the next monster, and then you go, oh, I need new gear. So you kill the monsters you just killed over and over until you get the gear you need to move to the next monster. It's very linear, very easy to understand. No questions, no no fuss. And so I defaulted to that. So I've been smoking through some Monster Hunter Wilds, and the monsters it's insane. They're like, every one of them is a new monster. And I know obviously there's no way they're all new. There are probably some from like Monster Hunters I never played being brought in. They usually do that kind of thing. But just new monster after new monster after new monster. And I'm like, man, where's Diablos? Where's Rathalos? I know they're in the game. Where are all the classics that I'm used to now from the 2 Monster Hunters that I have played? And they're just not even there yet. And I've already fought like 15 monsters. And I'm like, this is awesome. I love it. And then I'm also excited because I know I still get to get a Pookie and a Rathalos and the Behemoth and all of them. And there's no way they ain't got a Beetlejuice in there. So I know we're going to see Beetlejuice. I can't wait. I got all these monsters to look forward to that I haven't seen or heard from yet. And all these monsters that I'm fighting that are brand new with the gear happening. And I'm just having a blast with it. Just the other day, got buddy Shay on, whom we're going to be playing together hopefully this Sunday for the first time legitimately. But I got him on the other day on Tuesday. So we got the guild set up and everything. Band of the Red Hand, for those of you who are wondering. And my character's name's Evinda with Rand, and Giotto is my mount. It's awesome. It's so good. What, man? What? He's got a bad face on. Why?
What name is that? That's not the 2 names that you play as characters.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Because I'm going for the you know, the Robert Jordan theme here. So
get out of here. Stop.
And I was like, I could do Min.
Quit. Delete.
But
delete.
Evinda's got the red hair. So I went with the red hair. So I was like, yeah, there we go. Red hair, Evinda. You know, and then Rand's her pet. And that's kind of funny because, you know, Rand, you know, it's one of her lovers. It's a whole thing. It's fine.
Boo.
And we're in the band of the Red Hand. I'm going to make a side character too named Matt. You know, Matt Cuthin. So, you know, he'll be my guy for
this
the
is also
band
not the other name of the character that you play. What is going
Anyways.
on here? I say that as the person who plays one character name as a female character ever, and I don't play as that character in Avowed. I made up a different name, so I'm roasting you for what I'm doing myself. It's great.
Velman Trey is just a whole nother entity. That's a character I made up. Mahaga is a character I made up. Those are what I play when I'm just being me in a game. Yes, but we themed this one around Robert Jordan series, so it had to be changed up a bit. It's a lot of fun. Don't yuck my yums, Matt. Don't yuck my yums.
I'm just like, who is this guy I'm talking to? Is this even the same podcast we're going to do anymore? Jesus Christ, there's a whole new man here.
Oh, it's a new podcast. This podcast is called Playing Games and Things.
This is like when a married couple, like the kids are gone, and like, who are you anymore? I don't even know who you are anymore. Ah!
It's changed so much.
Exactly. See?
So yeah, that's about it. You know, there's not much to say really. It's just a lot of monsters, a lot of cool stuff. I will say that the spider boss in Monster Hunter Wilds, really fun, really cool. The gear for that was awesome, rocking. So just excited to see what's in store for me when it comes to the next set of monsters, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I can't wait till Sunday when I actually get to play with a buddy again and kill monsters together, because that's the most fun. I mean, it's fun either way, but that's a legit great when you're listening to them complain because they're getting smacked across the whole landscape or whatever weird things happen. Just so many cool events can happen with that. And that's about it. 2 video games, a little bit of real life. I'm sure there was other things, but what about you, Matt? What's the week been like?
Well, the week started off amazing because it was Friday night. I came home. It was dead quiet. And I went, oh yeah, I want to stream. I want to get in and play some games. And I streamed the demo because I had it re-downloaded because it was in a previous Steam Next Fest and then I wasn't able to access it. But for Urban Myth Dissolution Center, streamed that all the way through that demo. Had a lot of fun with it. Really good time. It was everything that I thought it would be from talking about it on the release. Then I had found a Steam Next Fest demo for a game called Muffles' Life Sentence. And I streamed the first half of that same night. And oh, baby, that game just blew me away. And I went, God, I just can't wait to play more of this game. I'm going to play this game when it comes out. Oh, it's an episodic game, and the next episode is coming out this week now as we're recording this. Cool. I'll talk more about this later in the episode. But then I couldn't wait because I didn't finish the demo. I had to stop and save. So the very next morning, woke up bright and early, started streaming more demos. Finished Muffles' Life Sentence episode 1. The demo was like a whole episode. I finished that. Boom. Amazing. Played another demo for a game called Neo Junk City, which is coming out sometime later this year. Bright pixels, point and click, but it also has Hogan's Alley type shooting or Lethal Enforcers type shooting or that Super Scope 6 game with the giant robots because there's a boss that goes back and forth and back and forth. And then like retro driving segments, like Outrun style segments. That game was a lot of fun. Kind of weird in some spots, but oh God, bright and colorful and silly and fun. Whoa, wonderful. Then I played a demo for a game called Death Howl, which is a tactical roguelike deck builder, all about like going into the spirit world, trying to find your kid. Really cool, really dark, and not like, I wouldn't say like emotional, but like that, like bleak, like everything you're fighting. And oh man, so cool. Then I played None Shall Intrude, the demo of that, and it didn't explain anything, and I was getting frustrated. But by the end, it unlocked 1 million cool cards that I could use on my next run if I wanted to. And I went, oh man, this is great too. What a wonderful time. Oh, playing demos and streaming it. It was a great couple days. I went, man, I'm going to ride these good feelings straight on into Sunday. And I went, hey, Sunday, what you got for me? And it went, oh, I'm going to make you fucking sick. Real bad. I'm going to smack you down, and you're going to have like zero energy. You're going to be walking around like a zombie, hacking and coughing and feeling weird and feeling lightheaded, and your heart's racing. Are you going to die? I don't think so, but it's going to be miserable for you. And so that was the rest of this week, was just being sick and miserable and having a bad time and hacking my lungs up. And every night, go lay down. Oh, I want to sleep. Now you're going to cough for like 4 hours. You'll never be able to sleep. It'll be great. Cool. But in the meantime, I have been playing some Avowed. I made one of the decisions that Eric was talking about not being able to make, and I did most of the side quests in that second area. So when I finally did get that new party member, the one with the hair, it was fun because it was like, oh, go to party camp. This character has something to say. Hey, character, I can't believe you went and did that thing. Yep. Oh, do you have anything else to say? Oh, backstory and all that stuff. Okay, well, I'm done with you. I'm going to go rest and go do the second side quest. Exit conversation. Oh, wait, she's got something to say. Hey, new character. I can't believe you went and did that thing, too. Yep. Okay, close conversation. Oh, she's got something to say. Hey, I can't believe you went and jumped off the mountain. Okay. I do like 5 things in a row. I was like, it was silly. It was fun.
So it's going to be better than to get him on the team and then go do it, probably.
Probably more natural to do it that way.
Yeah, more natural to just mainline to that part and then do it.
Plus, that character's a different class than you have right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of fun to have those type of class abilities.
And what can you have is it a 3-man party or a 4-man party? Because I don't remember.
It's just you and the 2.
Okay, so you have to kick somebody out. Toss somebody out to put the other in if I want to. Okay.
So I did that, and then I got to the end. I don't think I finished every side quest. I think I had like 2 or 3 left to do, like a couple bounties maybe. But I did finally just finish off that area. I got a tease of another character who I'm assuming is the same one that you are referencing with the ears.
Ears person, yes. I already met that person.
Yeah, that person came back and then went, I'll meet you over at the new area. So that's where I'm at right now. And I will say, I'm still about 50 to 60% having the amount of fun and love that I have had with it. But for the rest of that 40%, I don't know. I'm just doing it to do it. Like, I didn't clear out the whole map in the second area here. I went around for a bit, and then I just went, I think I'm ready to do a quest. Beeline do a quest. Okay. I came back the next day. All right, for about 45 minutes. Oh, yeah. Scoop, scoop, scoop. Just swirling all over that map. Here we go. Okay. Time to go do a quest. So, I don't know. It's mellowing out a little bit. I want something a little more, like, meaty to dig my teeth into. I'm still enjoying the conversation options. Like, they're still really cool. I got to, no spoilers, I had a pretty cool scene by the end. A decision that I made randomly on the road was like a very critical event in this area. So that was kind of cool, like in that sense. But it was also, I feel like I missed a piece of dialogue that would explain why things were there that I went and interacted with already. So it was kind of cool and like, oh, why didn't I get to talk to this person about what those people were doing there? So I don't know, still enjoying it, but kind of like upsy downsy. But I'm also sick. So like things that I do enjoy sometimes are not as enjoyable for me right now. So I don't know. I sound like a downer, but I feel like a downer. So it's probably just sickness bad. still enjoying it overall. Loved the games that I played. It's the demo stream. So, I don't know, a crummy week, but a good week. I don't know. That's what I did. I didn't do anything in real life front because I'm dying. I'm dead.
You seem pretty split, Matt. Pretty split. And you know what? Speaking of split, I got something for you. Split Fiction has hit. Electronic Arts has published it. Haze Light Studios has developed it. You all know Haze Light Studios. Joseph Ferris. He is the man. He's the legend. F those Oscars. Him and his team have put together a brand new game. From the previous one, It Takes Two, which me and Matt played, never finished, but we got pretty much to the end of it before we fell off. And now there's a brand new one here. And you play as either Zoe or Mio. The two of them, one's a fantasy writer, one's a science fiction writer. They go to this big giant corporation, and they're going to get put in these pods, which are going to unleash their thoughts and whatnot. It's going to help them write and come up with all sorts of cool ideas. What they don't know is that the evil corporation is going to take those ideas and steal them, and then put it into an AI and make the AI write all sorts of stuff. And in the meantime, erase their memories that they even had these ideas. So therefore, robbing them of all their awesome thoughts. And that's naughty. Now, what happens? Why are these two together? It's because one of them, I think it's Zoe, goes into the bubble, and then Mio puts up a fuss, and the old corporate man kicks her into the dang bubble with Zoe. And they go, oh, no, this is crazy. You're all supposed to be in separate bubbles. Now your thoughts are going to go mingle together, and it's going to be wild. Boom. Sure enough, that's exactly what happens. And these two go on this cool, inseparable journey. One is an outroverter. Oh, why do I not know? Introvert and an extrovert, right? That it?
Yes.
Yes, there it is. That's the right word. One's an extrovert, one's an introvert. I swear to God.
Almighty. One's an extrovert and an outrovert, and then the other one's an introvert and a stay inside overt.
You know what I'm talking about. You got a whiny baby who doesn't like people, and then you got the one who can't shut up. They're both there. There you go. They got to learn to get together because they're now in these weird dream sequences, and not they're only dream sequences, but it's their writing. It's taking form. Their ideas are taking form. So they're in these fantasy lands having to deal with that. And then they jump to the science fiction lands and have to deal with that. And all in it, they've got these portals popping up, which go like bubble them into like a separate little journey that goes into either science fiction or fantasy. And they've got to find glitches in this to try to get out of this evil machine that's stealing their ideas and screwing them over. And they've got to learn to cooperate while doing so and work together while doing so. And that is the entire premise of all of Haze Lights games, is working together with your buddy to play a game and get through it. And that's no different here. And they've come up with some of the zaniest, craziest levels in which you're working together to get through said level and move on to the next, to find that glitch, to get out and save the day and get out of this evil corporation. It looks absolutely fantastic. There were so many different genres blended into all the different levels that I saw, and so many different ideas that you've seen in many other games, but just patched in. A little bit of Crash Bandicoot, a little bit of Mega Man, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You name it, they're throwing levels together that do this. So if you just want to have, and from what I hear, it's challenging. If you want to have a challenging, fun time with a friend, this title apparently is bringing it to the table. And I also hear that the last mission is epic to the 200th degree of proportion. So if you really want to end on just a big bang, apparently this one has it for you. Another good report is that this one apparently doesn't overstay its welcome. Now, this is mixed, though. I've heard a couple reviewers say they still think it was a little too long in the tooth. There could have been a few things they cut out, but other ones, people I generally agree with a little bit more on my own end, say it was perfect, it was fine, it was right there where it needed to be, and it wasn't as long as It Takes Two, and kind of, just kind of kept going. Because even me and Matt said it Takes Two just kept going and going and going. And I'm like, this has to end. When's it end? It doesn't end. It never ends. This one apparently doesn't have that problem from the people I listen to and trust a little bit more anyway. So if you want a game that's going to be with a friend, having a great time, man, oh man, I'm telling you what, all sorts of genres, good music, graphics upgraded, looking good. Haze Light Studio apparently has pulled this off. It's getting some 10s out of 10s out there, 8s, 9s, 8.5s. It's all over on the high-end spectrum. You can expect a good time from this one, man.
Man, you want to talk about a good time? I had a great time. playing Muffles' Life Sentence. Now, I put this on here because when I looked at the Steam Next Fest demo page, this game was on here. And I went, okay, so it's a Steam Next Fest demo, like I said. Episode 1 is free, Episode 2 is coming right now, tomorrow as we're recording this, on the 7th of March, developed and published by Bossy Pino. But then I looked it up. I went, oh, Muffles' Life Sentence, apparently Episode 1 dropped like October 7th of 2024 on itch.io and all these other places. So I don't know where in the world that came from, but I downloaded it, I started playing it. This is a game that takes place in a world where this giant prison corporation has taken over, it seems like, the entire country. Like there are whole different islands and regions, but everything is run by this prison company, this prison corporation, this giant overwhelming prison society. And you play as a character who has no name, no memory, no face. And you're this character, and one of the first lines of dialogue is a guard saying, I don't know what the hell happened to you, but oh well, you're here, so here's the orientation. And you respond to him and go, because you don't even have a mouth. Your entire character, he looks like his whole face has been burned off or melted off almost. So it's this dark, like, oh man, I'm this hideous, deformed thing. I'm in this weird prison. What's going on? But when you watch that prison overview, like intro video, it is hilarious. It's like, oh, welcome on in to Bubba Boss State Prison. Check it out. So it's this dark tone with also hilarious dialogue, characters, fun stuff. But it's in this oppressive, overarching prison society where when you go to this prison, they reshape your face based on what your crimes were. So it's very weird and very twisted, but also very hilarious. Like when you go talk to other prisoners, if you're just there for petty crimes, you've been turned into a petty. You're like a petty. They all stammer and have these weird, like soft little faces. But if you meet a character who was a very violent criminal and he loved to bite people, maybe when he goes to this prison, they remake his face so he's got like a crocodile face. And he's very, killer croc style. And he's very threatening and disturbing. And maybe you have to fight this guy. So when you go into combat in this game, it is a turn-based RPG. On the overworld, it kind of looks like something like Undertale. Pretty simple. It's very stripped down color-wise also. There's like black and white and a little bit of yellow and red. Everything has this very stripped down theme in this prison world that you're in. When you go into combat, it's Dragon Quest style, so you're not in a void, you have a nice background, but you face the character and you face their giant face. And the pixel art of these faces is so different than the overworld look. It's very detailed, very creepy, very cool, very awesome. So you go into combat, and your combat is decided by cards, because this is also a deck builder. My heart grew 14 sizes when I saw this. Anyway, you use your cards, you use your abilities. The other cool thing about the combat is, okay, you have cards that do damage to the opponent. Cool. You have cards that build up your guard stat, though. So you get one that's, raise your guard by 40%. Boop, raise your guard by 40%. When the enemy goes, when it's their turn, they attack you. Okay, you did 10 damage to me. Bloop. But then it also almost always fills up a gauge, and you can analyze the enemy to find out what this gauge does. So maybe when they max out their gauge, then that turn, it's a flurry, so they hit you 3 different times in a row on that turn. But by building up your guard stat, once you 100% that, then for the next enemy turn, you take no damage. So it's this little push and pull of like, I want to do some damage, but I got to keep my guard up so that when they max out and their next turn comes, before that happens, I can max out my guard so that I don't take damage from this other crazy ability. Or I have to beat this healer before his heal maxes out, because when he does that, then he restores 30 HP to everybody on the enemy side of the field. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun. There's a bunch of different mini-boss characters. Their abilities are really different. I had, one character who each attack that he would fill up, he'd put a bunch of like exhaustion cards into your deck. And even if you block the damage, he would put these exhaust cards in. So then you had to start managing that on top of the other stuff that you're managing. Really cool. But the other cool thing about this game, it comes into play halfway through the demo or episode 1. It really comes into play by the end. Is when you beat some of these mini bosses, you essentially take their face So you take that back into your mind area, which is where you organize your deck, and each card has a certain cost and blah, 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 blah. You got to have space to fit these into your brain to be in your deck. But you can take that face and put it on a mannequin inside your mind palace, essentially. You can talk to those characters. And they'll be like, hey, here's a little bit of backstory for me. I'm the muscly guy. But you can also find memories around the prison and bring them back to that mind palace, feed them into the face that's on this mannequin. Now you learn even more backstory about them, but you unlock even more cards from their suite of abilities that now you can put into your deck. So that's cool enough. Then close to the end of the demo, you find a character of different status inside this prison. He dies, you take his face, now you can wear his face and become him and use his abilities around the prison. So people interact with you differently because now you're not this faceless character. You are this character. It is so cool. It is so much fun. I absolutely loved all my time with it. Even if you're not into deck builders, you don't really have to focus on it too much. Like I said, it's pretty simple. Build your guard up. Watch out for enemy attacks. If this mini boss puts a bunch of junk cards in your deck, oh gosh, there's a card from a different mini boss to throw those out, and it's free and doesn't take up your MP. It was delightful. I had a ton of fun with it. Episode 2, the first paid piece, comes out. It's in a whole new section of this prison world, like a Western world. So you're going to meet all kinds of crazy new characters, have all kinds of crazy new fun. The color has shifted, so now it's like yellow and purple and black instead of just red and yellow. The music in this game is great, too. It's really awesome. Even when you're just dungeon crawling, trying to flip switches to open doors, you're just grooving to some awesome music. And every time enemies come up to fight you, sure, it is a battle, and it's sort of formulaic, but man, the battle music, the battle graphics, the managing your deck and choosing the right things and taking out this enemy before that one because you were a strategic genius like me. Oh, it's so good. And I have to reiterate, sure, it is dark. You're taking people's faces. People are dying. You're ripping their faces off and putting the face on you. But it's also hilarious. Your character of D, your cell buddy who you meet right to start the game, love that guy. Awesome. Okay, I'm going too long, but I'm loving this game. Can't wait for episode 2. Can't wait for episode 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, a million. I hope this game never ends. Muffles' life sentence. Go check out a trailer at the very least. Like I said, episode 1, 100% free to play from front to back. If you don't like it, you didn't spend any money. If you do like it, you're in the same boat with me. Have a great time with it.
Man, Matt seems excited about Muffles. Holy cow. I'm pretty damn excited about Split Fiction. And you know what else? There's a free game out there. There's several of them, but here's one in particular on Epic. Them's Fighting Herds, baby. You love My Little Pony? I love My Little Pony. I've watched so much of it. I know all their names. I have the toys here at the house. I can talk to you all about My Little Pony because I've got some little girls, and we've grown up together watching My Little Pony. Now, is this My Little Pony? No, but it's like a copycat fighting game of My Little Pony, and that's Them's Fighting Herds. You get to pick cool, lovable-looking horses, cows, that kind of breed of animal, and you go into fighting game, and you have a great time. You got supers, you got punches, kicks, you got all the usual fighting stuff you think you'd get out of your typical fighting game. So you know what? If you want to try that out for free, Epic's providing it. All you do is click a button, and now you got all these cool My Little Pony-like characters having a great time fighting each other. It's a must-have, folks. Go get it.
And if you're on Steam, right now you can pick up a game called Isle of Jura for absolutely free. This looks like a fishing game. You're a girl on an island. You're fishing. All the reviews are mixed, but hey, the game is free. And if you got Game Pass, go on and get a fantastic roguelike deck building experience, which is Monster Train. I've talked about it before in the past. It was too easy for me, but if you're just dipping your toe into the Slay the Spire alikes, those kind of games, this might be right up your alley. It's got a really fun theme, all kinds of different demons. You pick 2 different factions and their cards mixed together. A lot of fun, really flashy, really colorful. The music and sound is great. Go check that out too.
Heck yeah, and while you're checking that out, Amazon Free Games has done it again. They've got some stuff for you. They've got Saints Row the 3rd Remastered. Everybody knows what Saints Row is. They are gone. You will never see a new Saints Row in your entire life. So you might as well go play this one because it's free on Amazon Free Games right now. Then you got Mafia 2 Definitive Edition. This one's a mixed bag. I heard a lot of people like this game. A lot of people didn't like this game. But all of them do say that it gets in the nitty gritty. It's a really good Mafia game. There's just some problems here and there with other things. So I don't know. You feel like shooting them up, being a gangster, and being in that kind of criminal syndicate. This might be something for you. However, you don't want to leave that world because you want to go and get crime boss something. Rockay City, okay? I typed it in there wrong. That's okay. Crime boss Rockay City. I don't know what this one's about. It does sound familiar, though. I feel like we've maybe talked about this before or something.
This is one that got revealed like a couple years back, and it had like Michael Madsen, all these big stars in it. And I think it's just like a first person running around shooting guys kind of a game.
Okay.
I don't know. It got weird reviews. Like some people liked it. Some people thought it was just bleh. You got it for free though.
Yeah. Why not check it out? And then last but not least, you got Nahabuluk's Dungeon Master. This one I think is just like an RPG game, colorful and whatnot, if I remember right. But I'm not 100% certain because there's another game that's similar to this one that I always get it messed up with. It's got Felicia Day as one of the voice actresses in it. So I don't know if this one's it or not. I didn't do the homework and look it up, but I think it's an RPG.
I'm just glad that you had to say it because I was not going to be able to pronounce that even remotely. I'm sick. I couldn't even say it normally.
I can't say it normally anyway, so it doesn't matter. So I sabotaged it, but that's okay. That's a lot of free games for you to go pick up right dang now.
Absolutely. And hey, we got in the meat and taters section, we got a bunch of little things to talk about. I'm going to say the one that really kind of sparked my interest when I saw it because I'm media blackout on the other thing. In here, Acclaim, the legendary video game publisher from back in the day, is coming back with a focus on reviving classic franchises. They literally said in the articles that I saw, they'll support indie developers and reignite classic franchises. Now, I think the question is, which classic franchises? Because most of the old Acclaim franchises are now spread out hither and yon and scattered to the winds. We're old men, so it's easy for us to say this, but it's always cool to see a company that you knew from way back in the day, even if it's not run by the same people, even if they don't have the same rights to everything. Oh man, Acclaim's coming back. You kind of like clap your hands and like rub them together.
Yeah, Acclaim used to be on everything. Acclaim was everywhere.
And just like for me, when Atari was like, hey, we're coming back 4 or 5 years ago, I went, hell yeah, Atari. I don't think they really did anything other than the 50th anniversary thing. But when you see stuff come back, and like you said, especially something that everybody got to play. Everybody played Acclaim games because they were on this, that, and everything. It's just cool. I want to see what they do, especially if it's indie devs, you know, maybe like retro revivals of old franchises.
There's 2 reasons I really brought this up. 2 reasons, Matt. And one of them was for you in particular. One was for me in particular. Because like you said, a lot of the rights to some of this stuff, Simpsons, Turok, etc., they've lost. It's all gone. So you won't see their name on that anymore because other people have bought it up. But there's a couple that they got a chance at. Wrestling games. They were big on wrestling games. So do they got a shot, especially with, oh man, I forgot his name. A big time wrestler from back in the day is actually one of the, not a co-founder, but he's a lead authority founder,
investor,
something of that nature of this coming back. So the chances of you seeing some sort of wrestling, WWE something or rather, is pretty high. I had his name in my head, but I forgot all about it.
I will say that would be pretty cool. I think probably 2K has the market on the big releases, but I know over the past few years they've done a lot of retro wrestlers, like giving their likenesses and licenses to separate games. So if they did a more indie level, like maybe legendary indie wrestlers coming together, that would be pretty cool, especially like an old school style game with power-ups and like the old Super Nintendo one where you'd kick the Undertaker and like tombstones would fly out of them. Something a little more cartoony. That'd be pretty fun.
And that's what I had in mind because, as you said, they talked about doing things with indie developers, etc., and coming back with some retro stuff. And that's exactly where my mind went. Is they're not going to try to give you the newest, latest, greatest and graphics with the WWE, but they're going to get an agreement to do some cartoony, fun stuff on the side with it. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's what I thought of as soon as it said they were coming back. Mm-hmm. So, and then, like I said, with it having a big-time former WWE wrestler on it, it just makes sense. It all gets put together. And then the one for me, man, was Extreme G.
Oh yeah,
I loved Extreme G. Me and James and my whole crew we played the hell out of some Extreme G back in the day. all 1, 2, and 3. I think there was 3 of them. I can't remember for sure. I think it was like I played them all. Had a great time with them. And it's so funny because before I even saw this, just last week, I was thinking, are they ever going to do a freaking F-Zero? Are they ever going to do an Extreme G? Are they ever going to do the one with the stupid unicycle?
Was just going to say, where's my goddamn Uniracers? Come on.
Where are these fast-paced, insane, over-the-top games like that? They don't exist. They just don't. And I'm like, why don't we at least try one? Try one. Get one back on the plate. F-Zero's obviously your biggest obvious choice because it's got the biggest recognition. But Extreme G, I think, is only a little bit further behind that. Everybody knows what Extreme G. Uniracer's a little more out there, but still a fantastic option. So when I saw this coming back, I said, wait a minute. Acclaim has Extreme G. I don't think anybody's bought them up or ate it out or whatever. I haven't heard from it ever since they've been gone, basically. So I think they still have Extreme G, and I'm like, that would be a perfect one to bring back. You could do, the graphics are, I mean, it's not going to require rocket science to put that together. And it was a fun game from back in the day that I think people loved, generally speaking. It was positive, but that'd be great.
And I think that's a wonderful genre to bring back too, especially if you're working with indie devs. Even if you don't get the rights to F-Zero itself, because obviously Nintendo holds that and they're really protective of that, you could totally do an F-Zero style game, and you could, quote fingers, reignite classic franchises just by copping their style, really. Like, you don't have to make a new F-Zero. If you make a new F-Zero Super Nintendo style game, people will come and play that. If you give me anything that is remotely like Uniracers, it doesn't have to be the actual unicycle, but you give me something that's top down, doing tricks to gain speed, going all over the hell with these crazy courses that you have to figure out and memorize, I will play that till the cows come home. So take that style, even if you can't get those franchises, make new games in those styles, people will eat them up.
And overall, I think it's just beneficial because since they said that we're going to work with indie developers, that gives indie companies somebody to look forward to, something to get on board with, money to be had. You know what I mean? It gives them into the video game world that they might not have otherwise, especially with the game market kind of dwindling down a little bit, consolidating, tightening up the ship, as they say. This is a perfect opportunity to get some people on board and get them in there making games. And on that note, it was Jeff Jarrett, a Hall of Fame wrestler back in the day, who is on board with this whole thing and partnering up with him and helping bring it about. So I'm not familiar with Jeff Jarrett. This is like kind of out of my time frame, I guess, but I thought maybe you'd know who he is.
Double J?
Yeah.
Jeff Jarrett?
There you go.
I heard you say Jeff Jarrett with a D, and I was like, who the hell is that? Jeff Jarrett breaking guitars over people's heads. Come on, JEFFJARRETT? What are you talking about? You know Jeff Jarrett. Come on now.
He doesn't ring a bell, man. I don't know.
Come on, Slapnuts. You know Jeff Jarrett. Come on. Well, everybody else knows Jeff Jarrett anyway.
Maybe I saw some videos. He'd ring a bell, but yeah, no, he wasn't ringing a bell for me. But apparently he was ringing other people's bells with a gosh dang guitar, so that's pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
And speaking of breaking heads with guitars, speaking of ringing bells, Matt, whoo boy, doggity doo, Claire Obscure, Expedition 33 got themselves a really cool preview over on IGN, and on top of that, sent out a demo to a bunch of influencers and cool people who rate that kind of thing. So a lot more gameplay was revealed. Story, the beginning storyline anyway, set out there for people to see and watch. Matt says no, he ain't going to do it. He's blackout, which I didn't know Matt decided to go blackout on this one. So I thought we had ourselves a cool little time to talk here, but apparently
I'm sorry.
That's not the case. And I will say, if Matt disappoints me and blacks out with this one, doesn't play this till 2047, I'm going to be sad on this one. You're not going to wait on me, right? This one we'll play together, maybe?
You always take me saying media blackout as I will never play it. Media blackout means I'm going to play it, so I don't want anything spoiled for me.
You media blacked out Alan Wake 2, and you still ain't played that one yet.
Did I say I was media blacked out on that?
You sure
no,
did.
I'm just never going to play that one.
Yeah,
That's
I hate
different.
You, man.
That's different. Who would play that game? What in the world? Now, what will definitely happen is what's happening right now, because Split Fiction's out, and I completely forgot that was coming out right now, is we will get to June or whenever Claire Obscure is supposed to come out, and I will forget about it. and you'll be ahead of me for like a week because I will have forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm definitely interested in this. You're the one who saw all the stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say, unfortunately, there's not much that you can say because you didn't see the dang thing. I won't. I don't want to spoil anything, so I won't go crazy here. I'll just say that having watched this further review of the actual gameplay and what's going on, it's crazy, man. It's nuts. It's looking really solid. You talk about all the time wanting adults in adult situations and adult scenarios. This has it. These people are dealing with some problems and some issues, and stuff is happening that is not great. And we saw, of course, in those trailers, those funny looking, all these weird creatures you're interacting with that seem goofy and lighthearted almost, but almost it seems off. Well, on the side of that, there's a lot of death and problems going on. So the brevity that these things might bring, because we don't know for sure if that's the case, is going to be needed because of a lot of just bad stuff happening. And then the last thing I'll say that kind of just lets you get a hint of what I'm talking about. Apparently, you find journals on this expedition from expedition like 84. Okay, and you're 33. That's all I'll say, but just there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of things. So it's pretty wild. It was really good. If you don't mind seeing, some light early game spoilers on what's going to be going on and what these individuals are dealing with, it was awesome. It was really good. Graphically, it was phenomenal. Music was phenomenal. They went on to iterate that it is not open world. The paths you're taking are going to be more linear. But of course, as I said, they do have the overworld, and then you'll go to like the next area or zone or wherever you want to explore, and then it'll just zoom into a more linear, choose this path or this path. This path will have a treasure chest. This path will just be the main quest. So expect that kind of exploration. It's not like you're just going to be in these vast, giant environments where you can go anywhere. That is not the case. This is a very formulated, linear experience for the most part, with just some branches to explore and have a little fun in. But there are a lot of things to find and a lot of like exploration bosses, things you don't necessarily have to fight and or encounter, which they kind of hinted at and talked about previously, but they showcased here a little bit more. So overall, I just did nothing but get more excited for this game. I cannot wait to play it. I have nothing but high hopes for it. There's a couple characters who are voiced like Ben Starr. You still haven't even really heard or seen yet. So I can't wait to see who he's playing and what the role is of his character. Very exciting stuff. I can't wait to play.
Yeah, even the minor negative stuff that you brought up that I did see in the article about like, oh, it is more like guided. It's a little bit more linear. Like I think in that article they even reference Final Fantasy X, which was one of those perfect ones that sure it is a hallway, and I'm using big quote fingers on that one, but it never felt like it because it was just enough exploration, just enough openness before they directed you down to where you need to go. I was already sold. That's why I went media blackout on it. I've been watching the trailer, obviously on mute while you've been talking, and it still just looks like everything that I want it to be. It looks like everything we've been talking about, hearing more about it. Like I did read in that article, the second run through, they found the extra super boss and put more time into it and were able to beat it. So, I mean, like we said, they mentioned that before. So to hear that it is still in there is awesome. Comparisons to Final Fantasy X, anytime you do that for me, it's a thumbs up. The focused exploration, exploratory bosses, it just looks awesome. I can't wait.
It really does. And the last thing I'll say on it is they also showcase the parry, dodge, and the jump mechanic while you're in the fights. So you're already going to be aiming with your guns to do basic attacks, and you got to make sure you're aiming at the weak points. So you're interacting in that regard.
And I just saw that in the trailer here. Like melee attacks is more typical and timed button presses, but for ranged attacks, you actually do have to aim around. The clip I just saw, there was like an explosive thing behind the boss or the enemy they were fighting, so you could do environmental attacks with your ranged attacks. That's pretty cool.
A ton of variety, yeah, right there. And then you got to know when you need to maybe jump. Maybe the only way to avoid something is to jump when the boss does a big slam. Or you can parry, which has a tighter window but offers more counter maneuvers. And then there's dodge, which is like you're easier, just, hey, I'm just going to get out of the way of danger. But sometimes that's the only option you have. So it's going to be really cool just to see all these different ways of dodging / getting out of attacks, attacking with your timed button commands and your aim shots. It's almost just a basic straight up interactive fighting system, but it's still turn-based, and it has you up in who is in order in your turns, and I'm just impressed. I'm just impressed with what they're doing. They're taking inspiration from all sorts of different games from back in the day, including Persona, of course, and just blending it all together into its own little cohesive, cool-looking combat that hopefully draws in a lot of people who may cry and whine about turn-based, because you know what? This is turn-based, but it's like the most badass turn-based you can get.
You know what it's gonna be, Eric. It's gonna be, well, I don't like turn-based, but this is too much. I gotta dodge, and I gotta parry, and I gotta jump.
Just make it an action game. It's too much to think about.
Turn-based puts me to sleep, but this is like too hard. Can I have it in between? And we know that there are difficulty sliders and upsy downsies and all that other stuff. But man, when you talk about a timed parry, it's like music to my heart. I'll dial it back for one quick second. In Avowed, I talked about my parrying shield that spawns beetle. I finally got like the parry times down, the health window down. I had a beautiful moment fighting a boss. He came in with a big swing. And I just went, nah, it's beetle time, bitch. Parry, beetle came out. It was wonderful. Not related to Clear Obscure at all, but
still cool mechanic.
Timed button presses and parries and abilities. Oof, it was so good.
Damn straight. Looking forward to this. You all need to be checking this one out. It's definitely a game to watch. And with that, I'll go to one little tiny bit of news. It ain't in the docket, but I do want to mention it. We won't stay on it long because it's kind of negative. But we're a Gearbox podcast at our heart. We're still there. We still pay attention to what the hell Gearbox is up to. And then recently, this last month, Mitsu put up a big Twitter post stating his concerns, worries, etc. for Borderlands 4. Now that puts it mildly. If you read his whole stuff, it was not toxic. It wasn't evil or crazy, but it was negative. He said, "It looks like Borderlands the movie to me." He says, "I really wish that it could graphically go up. It just looks like Borderlands 3 continued. I don't see them having a vision for the story. I think their budget was cut." And I'm just cutting it into pieces here. But I think their budget was cut just because of how poorly the movie did. And that's the way that 2K seems to be going with this kind of thing, blah, 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 blah. Just, some negative stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Randy came on his personal account. And guess what, folks? Yes, Randy overreacts. Randy has been known to do stuff. It's known. But in this instance, it's his personal account. And he came on and he said, "Hey, man, I don't want this negativity right now. I'm not feeling it. I'm trying to work my butt off over here with my crew to make Borderlands 4 for you, and you're just posting this negativity. I'm going to block you." And then he gets confused, and he goes, "No, I'm not blocking you. I'm just going to mute you. I just don't want to see what you're saying right now. I don't need it. I just get enough of this crap. I want to bring you the best game." And then he posted something like, "If you really want us to succeed, cheer us on instead." And he said also, "Hey, if you crush the will," I can't remember specifically. It was "crush the will of the developers. You're hurting everybody." It was something to that effect. And so then I'm assuming he proceeded to mute that person. Well, then recently, another big timer that's done Gearbox stuff for a long time, or did, then never did, then came back. It's the whole thing. Gathalion came on and said, "Hey, Mitsu is just posting some constructive criticism. He's a long-time player." And yes, Mitsu's been around a long time. I get, yes, he has. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You don't just get to leave, come back, leave, and then still get to have whatever opinion you want. So anyways, Gathalion comes back and goes, "Oh, you need to rethink your whole take on this, Randy, because he's just giving you constructive feedback, and you should take it to heart and take it gracefully," I think is what he said, and unmute him or whatever. And I just don't agree with that. I don't agree with it. If you want to post negative feedback, that's fine. No problem. If you want to be pessimistic, you want to be evil about it, you want to be constructive about it, doesn't really matter. You can do what you want. However, so can the other person. If the other person comes and says, "Man, I just don't need this right now," and it's their personal account, which it is, he can just say, "Hey, man, I don't need this right now." He at least gave Mitsu the grace of saying, "I don't need this right now, Mitsu." And the only reason he did that is because he knows Mitsu. Mitsu's been on the Borderlands show. He's been part of that whole shtick throughout the years, playing the games. He's one of the people Randy actually follows, which Randy always makes a big deal out of.
That's who that was.
Yeah.
I had no idea it was that Mitsu dude, because it was Mitsu and the girl on the
it's Mitsu and the
show.
girl all the time together.
See, I just saw a random Twitter avatar. I had no idea who this was.
No, it's actually Mitsu, the scarf guy. He always wears a scarf.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Yes.
Now, I mean, like you said, if his criticisms are valid, sure, but like I feel like that's another extra level to like, you were here, you formed this bond, you said a bunch of negative stuff, and you can come back and say, "Oh, it's constructive criticism." But what did you leave for him to construct? I think this looks like the Borderlands movie, which I hate. They're probably getting their budgets cut. I don't like it.
Yep.
Period. Where's the constructive criticism? Constructive means you like, I'd like it if they kind of went this way, or maybe they're going to flesh this idea out to blah, 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 blah. He worded it more politely than a lot of Twitter people that I've seen, but he still was just negative.
Mm-hmm.
And Randy worded his response a lot more politely than I've seen most Twitter people say. He could have said, "F you, you're blocked, get off of all of our stuff." But instead, it was all the things that you said. He responded in the nicest way he could to negativity and just muted you. He didn't say, "Get off of all of our stuff. We don't want you associated with our game anymore." I don't see what the
why the fuss.
Yeah.
And then here's the other two parts of this. One, I gotta say, I loved Randy's response to Cathalia. Was, hey man, don't try to gaslight me with what Mitsu posted.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't constructive criticism. It was just negativity. And we don't need that. And then he said, I get enough constructive criticism. Trust me, there's no shortage of that. And I don't need it right now, or blah, 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 blah. But I loved it. I loved it because he came right back with just the truth. You're trying to gaslight me right now because you like Mitsu and he's part of the old core from the old, Borderlands days. No, it wasn't. It was just negativity. Don't try to spin it like you got to respect a man just telling you your game's not looking good, blah, 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 blah. He doesn't have to.
And I'm not sure if it was Gathalion, but sometime maybe around the Borderlands movie launch, Randy blocked a bunch of people who were just crapping all over him. Somebody got blocked and went, no. I swear, guys, I really love your stuff. And Randy was gaslit and unblocked that person. I don't remember if it was Gathalion or if it was Killer 6 or one of those people in the crew, but it was literally what just happened. So I'm glad that Randy didn't take it this time because that's what it was. It was, I crapped on it and I went, no, I didn't. And then that person, quote fingers, got away scot-free on the internet. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah. So to me, kudos to Randy in this one. I will say overall, probably the best bet since he is a CEO and he's got a lot of eyes on him. And the legacy media of the video games just loves to hate Randy. Just loves it. It would have probably just been smartest just to ignore the whole damn thing because then you got all this stupid BS drama or whatever included. But at the end of the day, I still give him kudos because you know what? No, don't try to play that game. You said some negative shit, and you finally irritated your senpai, and you just got to deal with it. But I will say this to end it: Mitsu was pretty graceful with it. His last statement was, "Hey, I don't take it personally, never do. You probably won't see this till we're done, if ever. But I remember walking the streets of Budapest with you, leading up to the rooftop mixer. I know your passion and what you do with it. I hope you prove me wrong." And it's all just blah, blah, blah. But at least he didn't lash out and just, go all vitriol and stupid. He just went, I still wish you the best. I at least give him credit for just going, oh, well, I still want to be your friend. Bye.
I did just punch you in the nuts, but I mean, come on, we're still buddies. Remember the walk we had on the beach that one time where you kissed me and it was really sweet? I don't know. I feel like we've said this a million times on this podcast. I know Randy would never do it. It's probably best if he just wasn't on Twitter anymore because I know Randy likes to reach out to the people. I know people say a lot of good stuff about Gearbox. I know there's lots of people who still love him. I'm sure he gets a bunch of good stuff every day. So that's why he would never get rid of it. And he's a public person. He likes talking to the people. He likes putting the message out there. But like you said, the video games media and a lot of the common consensus is we don't like Randy for whatever reason. So he's always going to have something. He's always going to see something directed to him. I feel like just for his, I don't want to say mental health, but his space, his headspace, it might be good to just leave all that behind and then show up on a stage and go, hey guys, Borderlands 4 is here. Check out this cool trailer. And then everyone would just be like, wow, yay. And then he can just go back and work on it. Or he can go do a magic show, or he can go do his own thing. He feels like one of those guys who, and I'm not saying this to dog on him or anything, because I would probably be that kind of CEO too. It's probably best if he just takes a step back, and you don't need to let this stuff affect you because you can just put a wall up and then it's not there anymore. You know what I mean?
Well, I do. And at the end of the day, what sucks is I know he wants the people to love the stuff they're making and everything, and that's why he gets on and looks at us.
Yeah.
But it would be smarter just to back off. It really would be. And on top of that, it just sucks because no matter what he says, as we talked about already, doesn't matter because the marketing team's still going to give anybody he's upset with or anybody he doesn't like the game to go play and preview and try to get people to play. So even if this turned out really bad, like say Mitsu was like, oh yeah, well, who cares? I hate you, blah, 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 blah. Ran his mouth and was just really nasty. Marketing team's still going to give him the super VIP package, flight to Colorado. We're going to check this game out. We're going to, you're going to slope down a mountain while playing Borderlands 4 and you're super cool at this. And here's a car, play our game. You know what I mean? He's still getting the treatment. Even if Randy's like, man, that dude's just a nasty. Marketing team don't care. Marketing team goes, hey, Mitsu brings in usually around 17,000 Borderlands players, no problem. Okay, yep, bring him in. Same with Gathalion. Oh, Gathalion hasn't played in 8 years and says, well, that's boring. But here he is. You know, it doesn't matter. Gathalion brings in this many people. We're going to bring him.
Every time he puts Borderlands 4 as a streaming label, he gets 200 million views. Well, so he's just going to get it. He's just going to get it.
Yeah. And we complained a long time ago about like Gathalion in specific. He came back having not played like Borderlands in forever, and then all of a sudden was given the VIP treatment for Borderlands 3, played it for like all of 3 days, never played it again, and you're like, well, man, geez, oh Pete, say that's pretty cool. It's a good gig to say you're an old school Borderlands core player, play for 2 days, get $1 million, and then walk away and never have to touch it again. You know, pretty neat. Pretty neat. I got to get on that marketing side of 2K.
You just got to start streaming more, brother. Just keep streaming till you find a hit, you know? Get that audience up.
Yeah, just got to get that audience. Got to be cool. Got to chat.
I'm glad Discord cut the first one. It didn't cut the second one, but it did cut the first one. Oh, man. So, what about you out there in podcast listener land? What do you think of all the new stuff? And what do you think about the way Eric aced last week's Uncle Matt's Trivia Corner question? Because if you remember, it was which console released worldwide was the first to include a built-in modem for online gaming. That, of course, was the Sega Dreamcast. He didn't even need a half of a second to think about it. He was just like, nah, brother, that's what that is. And I went, hell yeah, brother. Gave him a point. Gave some other people a point. Some other people didn't get points. I'm sorry to say. But now you got a chance to redeem yourself.
Oh.
I'll be sad if somebody doesn't get this one. It's a game that's close to my heart. That's all I'll say. I can't not say it. The question this week: which 2020 simulator game uses information from Bing Maps to simulate the topography of the entire Earth? You got it, buddy. Oh, baby. There you go. As usual, I don't have the score thing up. Boom. You're back again into second place. You did it, Eric.
I'm doing it.
And you could be doing that too, listeners out there, if you know the answer to that question. And if you don't know the answer to that question, if you want to send us a mailbag question that actually relates to one of the topics, but we talk too long anyway, and we just keep ruining it. But it's fine because Borderlands 4 doesn't come out for a long time. Or you have any other questions, comments, concerns, any feedback at all, send that to us via the email thirdshiftme@gmail.com, on the Twitter machine @ThirdShiftME. Find us on Facebook under Third Shift. Hit up the Discord, the Patreon. If I'm streaming, hit up a stream. You know what? Hit me up like in the face with like a bottle of NyQuil next time you see me walking on the road. I'm never walking on the road, but if you find me and you see me driving in my car, just knock on the window and I'll be like, I'm scared. I'll roll it down like half a crack and just be like, NyQuil, dude, here, make you feel better, burn your sickness away. And I probably won't drink it because I'm scared of a bottle from a strange man, but you could do that for me. You can help me. You can save my goddamn life. Save my gosh darn life.
Save Matt's life. Get out there. And another way you can do that is he can just buy his own bottles, but you got to go over to Patreon and throw him a few bucks. The man can't afford NyQuil right now. It's tough times out here. You know, eggs are $500, foods, whatnot. NyQuil, probably $80. If I had to guess, I'd say $80 a bottle. Yeah, so I need you all listening right now to go throw us $80. So that way Matt can get some NyQuil to get better so he can perform for you next week here on the show. And you know what? If you can't do that, I won't be mad because I know if you're not giving us $80, you're going over to Twitch and you're giving us the $5 free from Amazon, free games plus whatever the hell they're calling it. I don't know. Just go over to Twitch, click the little button that says give them the Prime sub, do the thing. Do that. Or go over to Discord and go join. I want to join the Third Shift Discord. And then start typing. And go, hey guys. And I'll start getting posts all down my timeline on my phone. It'll be great. Or go over to iTunes. Or it's not iTunes anymore. Remember, Eric? Stupid. It's Apple Podcasts. And go click, 5-star reviews. Bing, 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 bong. And then say, these guys are the best and I really love them. If you get negative things you want to say, I don't want to hear it. So don't do that. Just do the positive stuff. Negative stuff, just keep to yourself. You know what I mean? Go swim in the ocean and get eaten by a shark. And then something else you can do. Spotify's got 5-star ratings too. Go do that. There's a lot of stuff you can do. Mailbag questions so you can be ignored, just like I said last week, because we ignore the ones we already have because we keep talking and we don't actually do them like we should because we're bad people. You know, so do that because I want to feel even worse about not responding to mailbag questions.
And of course, I'm dying. And of course, you can listen to the very next episode, which will be dropping on or around the 13th of March on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Podbean, on Spotify, and on YouTube. I'm too dead to worry about proper chopper in it. And as I always say, hey, if you like what we're doing, like to help us out, please give us a like, a rating, a review, comment, a subscription, any kind of good thing on any one of those good services, because it does help us out. And we really do appreciate it.
We do indeed. We appreciate all of you out there listening. You all are sincerely the best. Wish you nothing but good luck and 5 stars in your own lives as you do for us in our lives.
So with that, there's nothing else to say but...
Shut up and sit down.